Alright, so today we're doing terminating and recurring decimals. A decimal that terminates. Terminating decimal is a decimal that stops. Alright, it's like a terminating train. If a train terminates at Bondi Junction, then it stops at Bondi Junction. It can't go any further. So 0.732 is a terminating decimal because it stops there. It doesn't go any further than that. A recurring decimal is a decimal that goes on forever with a repeating sequence of digits. It starts with RE, like the word repeat does. It starts with RE. So you've got to look for that repeating part. Alright, so if we have a look up here, we've got 0.666 and then ... The ... at the end means it goes on forever, looking like it does now. So you would imagine those sixes would just keep going. Alright, in the next one we have 0.5323232 and it goes on forever with the 3 2's continuing on. 32, 32, 32, all the way forever. Okay, so how do we write the recurring decimals? Well, we put a dot above the first and the last digit of the repeating sequence. So in this one here that we just looked at, the 0.5 we just copy down. That's not repeating. But then we get to this bit. Now, if you just underline the first 3 2 that you see, you can see that they continue to repeat. So the first time you see the 3 2, you write the dots above the first and the last digit of that repeating part. Okay, so let's look at some examples. We are using our calculator, so let's have a look at what we can do. So we're going to write each of these mixed numerals as a decimal. So underline what we're trying to find here, a decimal. So we've got 4 and 8/10. Now, so we don't complicate things on the calculator, I want you just to write 4 point down first. That's the whole number part of the answer. Now, we're trying to work out how to write 8/10 as a decimal. So on your calculator, you press 8/10 in using your fraction key. So fraction key, and then we're doing 8 over 10, 8, down arrow 10. Then press equals. Now it's going to come up with 4/5. We don't want that. We want a decimal. So we're going to press SD, and then it gives you 0.8. Now we're not writing 0.8 because we've got something in front of the 4. So all we need is this bit. So we're just copying that bit down over here, 0.8 on the end of your 4. Okay, looking at the next one, 23 3/4. 23 is the whole number, that goes before the decimal point. So we're looking at what we've got after the decimal point. So we're going to put in our calculator 3/4 equals SD and see what it gives us. So let's do it on the calculator. Press your fraction key. 3 over 4 equals, and it'll give you that. Same thing. Press the SD button up here, and you get 0.75. So that's what the calculator gives us. So all we're looking at is the bit after the decimal point, and that's what we're going to write there. 0.75. All right, let's look at the next one. 19 1/8. 19 is the whole number. Copy it down to the point after it. We're putting in our calculator 1/8 equals SD. And if you do that, the calculator will give you 0.125. So we're doing 0.125 on the end of our number here. All right, let's look at the next question. This time we're rewriting each recurring decimal using the dot notation. All right, so that's where we put the dots above the digits. So let's look at this. It's 0.416666. We can see that first 6 we see is being repeated. So we write it like this, 0.41. Then we go, okay, we can see the 6's repeating. So there's only one digit repeating, so we only have one dot above that 6. Make sure you put it above the first 6. Sometimes people write down things like this, and in a test that's not going to be right, okay, it's wrong. It has to go above the first 6. Alright, so looking at the next one, we've got 0.10275, 10275. So we can see this whole section is repeating. 10275, and then we have it again, 10275. So right from the beginning here, we're going to write down all those digits that are repeating, put our dot above the first digit and the last digit of the repeating part. A lot of students in exams decide to put dots above all these numbers. You don't do that. It's only above the first and the last digit only. All right, let's look at the next one. We have 9.7683458345. All right, now, they get a little bit tricky sometimes, but I hope you can see that that's the bit that's repeating. Now, some people go, oh, okay, I can see that, but then all I see there is an 8. But all they're doing is showing you that the next digit would be an 8, and it's going to continue. So the next one would be 3, 4, 5. They don't have to show you the whole thing at the end there. Okay, so we're going to write it as 9.76. We can see what's repeating, 8345. And we're going to put the dot above the first digit and the last digit of that repeating part. Okay, next question. Now, in these ones, the question says we're writing each recurring decimal showing the repeating pattern. Showing the repeated pattern. Okay, so they want you to get the recurring decimal with the dot notation and write the whole thing out. So we're going to do what it says, 0.858. Then we've got 3 dots, so just the 3 is repeating. Now when you do this, you need to show me at least 3 of them. You can show me more if you like, but at least 3. Dot, dot, dot. Make sure you do the dot, dot, dot on the end because it shows it's going on forever. All right, next one. So we've got 0.0. And then they're trying to tell us that the 4 or 5 is repeating. 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. So we're going to do 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. And then dot, dot, dot on the end to show that that's going to continue like that. All right, and the last question. Convert each fraction to a decimal. Now, if you have calculators, and I've shown you before how to do this, we're going to do 1/9 equals an SD. So let's have a look at what this calculator gives us. So we're going to put it in your fraction key. Just put the 1/9 in. You all know how to do that. Fraction key 1, down arrow 9. Once you've got it, press equals. Nothing changes until you put the SD button. Okay, let's press it. Oh, look what it's given me. All right, so you can write down how many of those there are. 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 of them. All right, so we're going to write 0.1 and 10 zeros. 10 ones, I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, that's what the calculator said. But the calculator doesn't have any more space to give you any more digits. So we're not going to write the answer like that. We are going to write it as a recurring decimal. It's 0, because this goes on forever, right? The calculator can't show you that. So we're going to say, all right, we're going to write it properly. We can see that we've got the 1 repeating. It just keeps repeating itself. So we're going to put the dot above that 1. Now that's the only correct answer, nothing else. You can't write that and get it right in the test, it will be wrong. You've got to write it like this, okay? All right, let's look at the next one. So we've got 2/7. So this time we're doing a fraction key. 2/7 equals 2/7. Press the SD button and you get, oh, I'm going to copy that out and then we'll have a look at it. All right, that's what the calculator gives me. Now this one's really badly done, okay, in test because people don't see the repeating bit. So let's see what's repeating. We've got 2857. That looks a bit familiar because we've got that on the end, haven't we? So let's have a look. We're going all the way up to here before we start to repeat. Now, the calculator can't show you the whole thing because it doesn't have enough digits. But you can imagine that the next digit would be a 1, and then a 4, and then it would do it again. 285714, 285714. So it can't show you all of them, but it is going on forever. The calculator just can't show you forever, can it? It can only show you that many digits. So we're going to write it properly with our dot notation. Now that's what's repeating. Even though you can't see the end of that next one, that's what's repeating. So the dot goes above the top, the first digit, and the last digit of the repeating part. That's the only correct answer. Okay, and we're doing one more. So the last one is 4 over 6. So if you go to your calculator, press in 4 over 6 equals SD, and the calculator will give you this. Right, that's what the calculator gives you. Now, this is really, really important. A lot of people go, oh, okay, that's not really repeating because I can see a 7 on the end. But I'm going to show you what the calculator does with this one. Let's just come over here and have a look at it properly. All right, so what the calculator's doing, because it can only give you so many digits, the calculator is actually going like this. It's going, all right, I can see that we've got lots of 6s, and it'll tell you all the way up to here, and then the next one will be a 6. Now, the calculator might stop there. Now, if the calculator stops there, it's going, all right, well, I'm going to round it. So I'm going to go, well, that's a 6, that's 5 or more. I'm going to take this up by 1 to a 7. So that's what the calculator's doing. All right, it's going like that. So that's why there's a 7 on the end. Never look at the last digit on the calculator. It will just confuse you. Okay, so don't look at the last digit. It's being rounded off. Don't look at it. So if we forget about the last digit, pretend it's not there. Cross it out if you like. Now we're going to write this as a recurring decimal. It's 0.6. And we can see just that 6 is repeating because we ignore that last digit and we put a dot above there. All right, so that's the end of today's lesson. You've got something pretty easy to do today. So make sure you show the working like I've been doing, and good luck with your homework.